inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Hey, ladies, this is your proud host, August Crenshaw, coming here to talk to you all. For those of you that listened to the last podcast, I talked about the disadvantage of not taking breaks, and I want to take this conversation a little bit further and offer a twist. And so for those of you that want to be brought up to speed, I talked about David Goggins, how he was a marathon runner. He ran in excess of 100 miles. I think to date, I don't want to be wrong, that he's ran up to 150 miles. And this is in scalding heat, rain, rocks, freezing temperatures. It doesn't make a difference. And he just would jump into these races and give it everything that he had. He has ran on broken bones. He's done so many different things where he basically had this body where it seemed like it was invincible, but he found himself on bed rest, and it was meditation and stretching that healed him. He didn't have a life-threatening disease. He took care of his temple and he was great, but he always pushed. And like I said, a lot of people that follow me, because I'm always doing something different or doing something new, you may have this impression that all she does is push. And I am a pusher. And I would say that mentally and from a business perspective that I am, I have basically similar values as he does about going beyond what you believe is possible. And all of the stuff that he went through, he doesn't have any regrets. Being able to compete in those races and do those things put him in a position where he was like, man, you really can control your mind and you can take yourself anywhere based on the way that you think. And so I want us to really look at that, because yes, you need to take a break sometimes and when, meditate, get away, woo-saw, get the stress off, quit trying to make stuff happen. But you also need to stretch. And so if we look at stretching is an inactivity. It is still a form of exercise, but it's the point that you are pulling, you're allowing your muscles to be pulled to a limit. And the more you do it, the further you can go. I don't know. I'm older. Remember when you used to have to sit with your feet on a wall and the ruler was there to, see how far you could, go forward and how many inches you could reach? Well, that's, stretching allows you to do that better. Some people almost can sort of do a split. But if you keep doing it and keep doing it, eventually you'll train your body and your muscles to stretch even further, and you can. And that ability to stretch further is what allows athletes to be in optimal shape. It is what allows your muscles to have better definition. Okay, well, think about that for your business. How do you need to stretch yourself? No, I'm not saying try something new. No, I'm not saying just push yourself just for the sake of pushing it. There's a muscle and there's something that you need to be doing in your business, and you can do it, but you don't necessarily do it that good. And I mean, come on, we all have these areas. I've got them for myself, and we have to do better. We have to do more. We have to push ourselves. It's something as simple as writing copy. I hate writing copy, and actually I do. I prefer to just spitfire, on a video or a podcast, and I've had to learn to work with that as my advantage to actually pull information in order to create copy. But I don't like doing it. But still, nevertheless, that can't always be the option either. Sometimes I actually have to sit down and write. And it's not that I'm not a good writer. Hell, when I'm in the zone, you guys see what happened, well, how many books I can crank out in such a short period of time, but that were very, very laser focused. So, what do you need to stretch? No, I'm not talking about you pushing yourself in your business. I use the word balance very loosely, but there's got to be a balance of this super duper hard work ethic and really going out for the grind with also taking the time to meditate, listen to the universe and get direction, as well as doing more of something maybe you do or don't like, but you still need to get better at. You've got to stretch yourself. And so a lot of the things that we do in life, you hear me say that, whether it's personal or professional, that they are all still very much connected. We like to say that, well, this only applies to this part of my life or that, and we like to compartmentalize. But as we grow and we recondition our mind, we begin to realize that the fundamental truths, the foundational principles are the same across the board. Because you can apply this to your marriage, to the way you work with your children. You can apply it to your business, your relationships with your friends. You might have to stretch yourself to have more uncomfortable conversations, to do things you don't want to do in order to not appease your mate, but to get to know them and explore activities that are fun for them. There's in some form of fashion, we all have to stretch ourselves. And I do it on a consistent basis. And I can say it's not the fact that I work so hard that allows me to have the success that I have. It's the fact that I am willing to throw myself into the fire. I understand being stretched and being uncomfortable. We say nothing changes in your comfort zone, but how many of you actually push yourself to discomfort? Because that's what stretching is. When you do it and you're leaning forward and you're trying to touch those toes, it's like, oh my God, this does not feel good. And in the midst of doing it, what makes it feel better is when you very slowly, when you breathe. And if you could just breathe through it, it'll be a little easier. And if you can hold it for like 30 seconds and come back up and then go right back down into that same stretch again, you'll find that even though it's uncomfortable, it gets a little easier. Stretching. So stretch yourself. Get uncomfortable, knowing that the discomfort that you are experiencing is not pain, it's just different. It's just different. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And then eventually it will become something that you're used to. You'll be like, you know what? I can go further. I can do more of this thing. And then when you do that, you perfect specific skills and you find your business expanding. Okay? So stretch yourself. That's it. I love you guys. Now I stretched myself and I want to know where you ladies are at. Come on now. I stretched myself. I created aclive.co. I have no idea, no knowledge of coding and all of that crap. And I created this social media platform so that we can have a space where we can start talking about things that matter to us and we can actually network in a way that feels good to us. And we don't have to be ashamed to talk about our business all day, every day. But then we can also talk about our kids and healthy living and do book clubs and all kind of crazy stuff. And it doesn't just have to be finding a Facebook group here or there. It's the spirit of the community to do that shit all the time. So I'm stretching myself. I'm stretching myself and expanding because the vision that I see for the moves that I'm supposed to make in this industry require me to do some stuff that, made me have to be a little bit more technologically savvy. But I have to roll with the vision. Okay, so I'll see you guys at aclive.co. That's www.aclive.co. Of course, I'll put the link on the podcast notes, and let's keep moving forward and going up. All right, I love you, ladies. You have a beautiful day.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendontbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces!
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you.